Today we're going to make us a slow smoke rock Cornish game hen. Stick around and I'll show you exactly how I do it. Alright, so today I'm not filming with my normal gear, so if this video looks a little dim, I'm going to see what I can do to enhance it and try to brighten it up a little bit, but if it comes out looking a little dim, I apologize. I got my other gear in a situation right now that's just not convenient to use, so I'm just using this little Canon Vixia camera. Decent camera, really. Not the greatest image stabilization in the world, but it does a good job. Anyway, enough of that. I'm not here to talk about that. We're going to talk about these little game hens. We're going to cook up a few of these out there on the Weber Kettle today, and I'm going to cook them at really low temperature, 225-ish, 250 max, but I'm going to try to keep it around 225. And I want to slow smoke these things so the smoke just gets deep into the meat. And we're going to start by putting a dry rub on them, and I'm going to let them sit. And I like to let my dry rubs marinate my meat. So let me show you how I prepare these, and I'll tell you a little bit about them too. Okay. Here is our rock Cornish game hen. So I told you we were going to talk a little bit about it because I like people that watch my channel to know what it is that they're cooking. So. Where does the rock Cornish game hen come from? You know, it's a funny thing because I have told this to people, and for some of I get mixed reactions. Some people are like, really? Are you kidding me? And other people are more like, I don't believe you, so they go hitting the Google. And there's actually been some that were just flat out disappointed. But it's really not a game bird. You're looking at a chicken. It's actually just a standard broiler chicken, our staple chicken that's under 5 weeks old.
It's a baby!
Chicken. You can call it a personal chicken. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and prepare these birds spatchcock style. So in other words, I'm going to remove the backbone, and so I'll just make this incision on either side of the spine down toward the hips. And I usually, I tell you, if you have some of those kitchen shears, they're really good for this. You can just shear these things right down the center. I don't use them. I'm just kind of an old school cook, But if you have those, I recommend you using them. It makes the job a little easier, although it's really not that hard. So I just come up through here, being careful not to poke into the backside of the breast, and get through those ribs. And I find the hip joint, and you can see the hip joint right there. You may have to look for it when you get more experience with meat cutting. You kind of just know right where to go to get it, and that will disconnect the spine so you can remove it. Hip joint there. So I just bring this up. There we have our little spatchcock rock Cornish game hen, aka little chicken. All right. Okay, so we got these little game hen spatchcock chickens all ready for some rub. So I'm going to put a fair amount of rub on these things, both inside and out. And then I'm going to give them a 2 to 3 hour rest, and just kind of let this rub marinate that chicken a little bit. That's how I like to do it. So put it all on there. We want lots of flavor. This rub's going to give us lots of flavor. I'll tell you, it's a good one. I'll tell you all about it here in just a second. So there's the inside. We'll just flip them over and make sure you got the legs turned in so we get a complete thigh. just like that. If you watched my Santa Maria chicken video, you've seen this before, so that's why I'm not going to over-explain everything. Just kind of taking you along here for the ride. You know, just like all chickens, there's a lot of moisture in these. The breasts have a tendency to be drier than the dark meat. All the same temp supply, so you know, we're looking at basically 180 degrees in that thigh area. But we're going to cook them. We want it to get there slow, really slow, because we want penetration on that smoke. And we want a pretty presentation on these birds. Okay, so there's our rub, and I'm actually just going to pat it in there a little bit. And I left these birds a little wet because I want these spices to really hydrate, ferment through the meat. So they're going to be really good. I want to get a nice color on them, nice auburn amber color on them. Okay, so that's the rub down. Now regarding the rub, this is what I'm using. Take a look at that. Yeah, this is a rub that I got from Big Lou Barbecue. Palvo de pollo y pavo. So turkey and chicken dust is what that is. And if you want to get some of this for yourself, well, you can't buy it. I actually put this label and stuff together just to kind of honor Lou, because it really is an excellent rub. Now, you guys know that my channel is not so much about you know, promoting commercial products, although I may do reviews on commercial products from time to time if somebody asks me to. And not even really big on promoting other pages, although there are some that I mention from time to time. Big Lou is a channel. Big Lou Barbecue is a channel that I watch pretty consistently. I really like the guy. I like to watch what he does. He's a subscriber of mine, and you know, heavy commenter and whatnot, and just an all-around good guy. So I make those exceptions, and in this case I do. Regarding the rub, though, you know, my channel is really more dedicated to my followers and my subscribers, and especially those who just want to be a better cook, or maybe are just breaking out and they want to learn how to do it. And me, I just want to inspire. That's what it's all about, just inspiring. So I chose to use this rub, not because of Big Lou and the fact that I like his channel, and I like him, and I like what he does. I love his passion. But it's actually extremely good rub, you know. I saw it a few times in his videos. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna make some of that and see what it tastes like. And so I did, and I tried it out. It's extremely good. It's got all the right components for a poultry rub. You know, you've got your garlic and your paprika and everything in there, but you know, it's got some other elements like, you know, sage, which was a brilliant ingredient for a poultry rub, and of course some parsley, so you get that herbal earthiness that you really need to have on poultry. Easy to make. He has a recipe, he has a whole video he did on it, so I'll put a link to that video in the description below if you want to make up some of that Big Lou barbecue rub yourself. It really is good stuff, man. So anyway, enough of that. I'm going to go ahead and put these birds in the refrigerator for a couple hours. Then I'm going to bring them out and I'm going to let them kind of warm a little bit, you know, get a little chill knocked off of them. And for those of you that get freaked out over that, oh my God, he's going to poison everybody. These birds are going to go well past the cooking temperatures required to kill any kind of bacteria, and if there's that much bacteria crawling on those birds, there's a problem anyway. So anyway, I don't. People freak out too much. You know, good cleaning practices in your kitchen. I've never once served something to somebody that made them feel ill. So in the refrigerator they go. We'll be back in about we'll be back, I'm gonna say 3 hours. By the time I get the pit ready, we're gonna get this cook going. And I'm gonna show you how to make these beautiful smoked rock Cornish game hen baby chickens, whatever you wanna call them. All I know is it's really good going down. You know, one really cool thing about a Santa Maria barbecue pit is it's a really good place to get your chimney ready, or do a little Dutch oven cooking. Show you a little trick I I do sometimes, I've showed this in other videos before, and one or two other videos, but not everybody watches everything, so it's just a little trick that I do. But I'll get you a piece of paper towel or a napkin or something like that to get your chimney started, instead of cramming a bunch of newspaper underneath there or whatever. You know, sometimes I'll just put a single brick head under there and dribble a little bit of petroleum byproduct on there, lighter fluid, and kind of do it that way. But you know, some people get really freaked out when you use lighter fluid on anything. But alternatively, a little cooking oil, paper towel, napkin, and just saturate it with that oil, and you'll create an oil wick just like that. Just kind of soak it in and compress it a little bit, and you'll have kind of a long burning wick here that'll get your coals started. I'll show you. Put a little fire to it. Takes a second to get going. There you go, a nice slow burning fire source. Alright, got these coals just about where I want them, so I'm going to go ahead and set my bin here. Like I said, I want to slow cook now on this Weber. I'm going to set my lower vent about halfway, maybe a little over halfway, and then I'm going to do maybe just a little over halfway on the top vent, the exhaust. And keep in mind, you got to find where your pit regulates, but it's really important to know that you've got to keep constant air flowing through the pit when you're cooking. You don't want to choke that lower fire off and have smoldering coals and woods, because you just get a ton of soot. So you've got to have moving air. The key here is to have moving air and having your intake and your exhaust set so that it doesn't overfeed oxygen to the fire, to kind of keep the temperature down. But air moving, very important. Alright, so I just stuck this chunk of applewood smoke down in there. I like these fruit woods for slower, longer cooks, because you don't get that bite from over smoking when you go on longer cooks. So let me grab these coals and we'll get them in there. And I'm not going to put a whole lot of coal in there. Again, I'm going to keep the temp down without having to choke it, so just by putting a little bit in there, that'll help me keep the temperature regulated. I'll just have to stoke it more often. Okay, we'll cover it up and let it come to temp. All right, we're gonna give these little girls a little toiling. We're gonna let them hang out about 30 minutes, do what they gotta do, and then we'll get into these birds and I'll show you what we got. Okay, they just had to rest out a little bit, and then just as I put them in the rest, I got to checking them out and I decided they weren't quite where I wanted them to be. I think the little thermometer, cheap little thermometer I was using is a little bit off. I was telling my wife that earlier. So we put them back on the heat for a little bit, let them just kind of finish up. But where we want to be, I did wind up darkening those wing tips a little more than I wanted to, but that's okay. This is going to be good stuff. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to go ahead and quarter it out. And then we'll get in here and just kind of take it down to eighths. It's too bad there's no such thing as smell-o-vision, because you're missing a lot of this experience just looking at it on video. Alright, so there's our little bird. We'll dig into the thigh first. Look at that. It's yummy, yummy stuff. And then the breast, which is usually the hardest part to keep moist, but look inside of there. See, that's perfectly cooked right there. I'm gonna give me a bite of this. Oh, holy moly, that's good stuff. Man. Super moist, even the breast meat. All right. There's another home run, so y'all seen how it was done. Get out there and do it, man. I guarantee you, once again, you're gonna knock it out of the park. You're gonna look like a superstar. That's good stuff right there. So, Big Lou, your rub was a hit. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel here. Follow us on Facebook, and we got a whole bunch more coming your way. Go outside and cook.